How can we make the world better? By making ourselves better. The Dr. Joe Show explores how you can make positive personal change by using his groundbreaking and highly effective I Am approach to understand who we are and why we do what we do. Your small changes can have big effects.
Join us now for the Dr. Joe Show with Mark Stiles of Stiles Law and your host, Dr. Joe Schrand.
Welcome to the Dr. Joe Show. Here we are live in Broadcast House, WATD 95.9. WATD 95.9 FM.
Hey, your boys can't even know about
The Dr. Joe Show. You like that?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
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 Lovely. Yeah.
How are you?
I am really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really good.
You look good.
I'm feeling good. There's so much to be grateful for. There's a lot of stress in the world. There's no question. We're not going to deny any of that. Right?
Isn't that always the case, though?
Well, since we are survival animals, yes.
Yes.
But that's really the sort of trick to it, right? Is to recognize that there may not be those saber-toothed tigers out there anymore, but we still activate that.
It's also how you look at things, right?
It is. It's perspective.
Right.
And your perspective is into how have you been doing?
I've been doing wonderfully.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because there's stress in the world, and I choose to ignore it and just flush it.
Right. I mean, it's not like we're being sort of naive and ignoring it in the sense that, oh, no, everything's going to be fine.
Rosy glasses.
Because there is that privilege component that we are aware of.
No doubt.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
However, to recognize that so many people are under this stress, and yet every one of them wants the same thing. We speak about this all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't just want to feel valued. They want to be safe. Right? And that's what being valued is about. Trust is about safety. Respect leads to value. Value leads to trust. I know I've said it a lot, but I really believe it. And more and more, Mark, I mean, you ask how I've been doing. I really have been thinking about this more and more and wondering how do we get that message out to more people that this may be one of the most critical times in our history as a species, because we have the ability now to think further ahead than we had before. And if we keep doing what we're doing, I think we know what the outcome will be. And it's not necessarily going to be that we survive. So how do we manage that need for survival, which is absolutely reasonable, but not have to do it at the expense of somebody else's survival? That's really the trick. How do we do that? And I know it's very heavy, guys. I know we started right off the Dr. Joe Show like really heavy. But the reason I actually bring it in is because it is about survival. And there are so many people out there who are generous with their time, their energy to help others survive. And that's part of what we're talking about tonight. That's what we've been talking about the last few weeks.
That's right.
With PanMass.
That's right.
Right? Other people helping other people to survive. Strangers helping strangers.
Yeah. And sharing it from generation to generation, and the feeling, the valuing of people, and the feeling you get when you value others, and to share that message, and then it's a contagion. It's a network effect, right? So
yes, I believe so, because that is part of who we are as human beings. We will mirror other people's experiences,
right?
And that's fine to do that, but that means we can create an image, we can create a reality, a perspective that other people can mirror, and they can just feel safer and calmer, and just more valuable. So that's what you guys are doing.
That's what we're doing.
And we have several folks in studio tonight with us. Mark, could you please introduce our guests?
I would love to, Dr. Joe. We have two riders with us today who are going to be heading to Sturbridge tomorrow to do the PanMass Challenge. We have a team member who's been riding with us for some time now, Mr. Paul Reardon, and the amazing Gabby Reardon, his daughter, who recently graduated from Marshfield High School this past May. So when we talk about passing this message down to the generations to keep this going and to force multiply, if you will, one to many, we have that next generation who is feeling that value from valuing others. So Gabby and Paul are here to join us and talk about theirs. And we also have a special cameo appearance from an individual who is the reason that I ride the Pan Mass Challenge, the reason I started doing this in the very first place, because he was diagnosed and battled through the awful disease of cancer and is here smiling and currently cancer-free. Mr. Rich Murphy is here, ladies and gentlemen. He's here in studio to talk about his journey and why the Pan Mass Challenge is so important to him.
Wow. Well, welcome all three of you. Welcome. Now, we only have 3 mics and 4 people on that side, so I know that sharing is part of your entire culture. So thank you for sharing your microphones tonight. Gabby, let's start with you. Welcome to the Dr. Joe Show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you. So you're stuck with this guy over on your left, Paul?
Yes.
And you're related to him in some way?
Yes, I'm my father.
Oh, he's your father. Well, that works out quite well. I am your father. I am your father. And Paul, you've been here before.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, really for the same sort of thing. And you're still riding? You're still doing this?
I am riding again, and a lot of it is because of Gabby.
Okay,
Cool.
we're going to be coming back and
So
hearing
great.
about this. It's so great. And Rich, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. And I'm probably not riding because of Gabby.
Okay, let's hear about that.
So this young lady, I've only done one ride with these guys, or
Okay.
a half ride.
Yeah.
And this little muscle woman with the smile just kicked our butts. And she is supremely impressed to watch as a rider and being here more as a human being. And she, if you know anything about her dad, I mean, all her dad does is give. I'm sure the audience out here, there in the radio land of Marshfield, know what Paul does for this community, means to this community, and even beyond that community to now the Pan Mass Challenge community. Yeah. But he's set a great example for Gabby, and it's been fun. I wish I rode with them a little bit more. Maybe not.
Maybe. Yeah. So, and Mark, how are you connected to these remarkable folks?
So as you know, Rich is the reason I ride, and then I've met Paul over the years, also probably through riding, I think, is where we initially met, and then in business we've come across each other, and then in the charitable giving of supporting our Boys and Girls Club. And I've recently met his daughter this year, who is one of the strongest athletes I've ever seen, rides with other very strong athletes, and not only keeps up but like holds the pace, and it's really, really impressive. And I'm psyched to have her on the team, and I think it's really excellent to see that next generation seeing the value and experiencing the value of giving. And I echo what Rich was saying of her father showing that example of, because you can't really teach charity, right? You have to, it's not automatic, right? Like you're not born to be charitable. You actually have to see it. You have to immerse yourself in it to really understand the value of it. And he's done a wonderful job of showing his daughter that. And it's really been fun to be a part of that father-daughter team. I think it's super inspiring, actually.
So how did you learn this from your dad? What did you notice about him?
Well, I mean, I kind of grew up with him doing the charity around town through the Boys and Girls Club. And even when I was little, I always loved to be there with him and be a part of it. So any volunteer work that I had the opportunity to do, I kind of just did it. And then I've just continued to do that, like, through the years. And last year, like, volunteering at the Pan Mass for the first time was, like, the perfect opportunity for me to do something different now.
So what did you do last year then?
Last year, I really didn't know anything about the Pan Mass before last year. And then my dad wasn't, like, riding it before that. And So when he decided to ride, I had friends who were volunteering down in Eastham, and then I just had talked to people about the PAMMAS. So I wanted to learn more, and then I found that I could volunteer, and I decided to do that because, I wanted to be a part of such a great cause, and I wanted to see my dad. And then at the same time, unfortunately, my aunt got diagnosed with cancer like a month before, so then that kind of changed my perspective on it a little bit and why I wanted to volunteer, more for her and my dad, I guess. So after that, I just wanted to keep on going.
That's powerful. And charity is all around us. And I will come back to that idea. Is it born into us, or is it something we learn? But what I have learned is the wonderful charity of our sponsors. And so with that in mind, I would like to hear from our charitable sponsors. We'll be right back with the Dr. Joe Show.
Hey folks, thank you for listening to the Dr. Joe Show. We've been investigating whether or not we want to bring sponsors into our podcast. What are your thoughts? Do you know somebody who might be a good partner with the Dr. Joe Show, who may want to align their product or service with the Dr. Joe Show? Think about it.
Dr. Joe Show. We'll take it from here, Larry. How you been, Larry?
Yeah, nice to see you,
feeling
Larry.
good, bud?
Yeah.
I'm feeling great. Enjoying the summer. I like the warm weather.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Good. Yeah, I didn't even say hello to you, Larry. I'm sorry. Hello, Larry.
Nothing new there, but hi to you too.
Larry.
So, off air, we were talking about charity, and
I was born this way.
And clearly, the PAMMAS Challenge is about charity, but charity sometimes also can have that weird connotation, it means we're helping people who are less than. We have to be really cautious, don't you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? But what you're doing is helping people who have what you, Rich, were able to fight and challenge. And what was your journey like? Because these folks, these strangers all over the world have helped.
No, the journey and the charity. I've already lost my train of thought, Dr. Joe.
Sorry, we're talking about bicycles.
No,
not trains. Sorry,
watching, over the next 2 days, these three riders here get to see an amazing, I don't want to say transformation, but just an amazing coming together of people all for a common good of helping others and helping fight this disease. And from what we've learned over the years is this disease is a disease that can be managed to a certain extent. And the ugly truth of it is money is going to help this. And these people here raise a ton of money. Mark, you guys, I don't know, PMC's over $1 billion, correct?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the goal this year, I'm imagining the goal this year is close to 65, 75 million.
It was 75 last year.
75 last year. So these three riders and their teams and all the other riders are putting it out there to help a loved one like Gabby next to me. Mark to the right of me, he says, I was the start of it. And Paul has a dear friend that he lost a couple of years ago that is always in the back of his mind on this. So everybody has a different reason, but the common good and the common goal is very apparent as you're riding the 198 guys and gals. But it's just an amazing event to be a part of. And Gabby next to me inspired me. I can't sit on the sideline next year. I've got to go and donate my time, Mark,
Right.
not my legs, at one of the rest stops next year.
I like that, Rich.
Yeah. Will you get to see him there then?
Yeah, we'll find him.
Hand
We'll
you some water,
definitely
right?
Yeah, we'll find him.
Right.
I'll be there at the end, but that doesn't count.
So let me ask. So it's 192 miles.
92.
That's a lot of riding. How do you train for that, Gabby?
Pretty much go out every other day. Usually do shorter rides during the week, and then on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we'll do a longer ride. So I pretty much spent my summer on the bike, but I've enjoyed every ride that I've had.
Yeah.
So, and every time I get on the bike, I have in like the back of my mind why I'm doing this. So that's just motivation in itself. And I've get to experience the love of riding my bike now with my dad too. So that's a very special thing that we get to share. So I've enjoyed it, and I don't really feel like it's training as much as it's more of like enjoyment.
That's great. That's such an important distinction too. Training can sometimes feel like a onerous task, but this sounds fun. So you like hanging out with your dad. That's a good thing, Paul, Enjoy that.
I try to.
So, and what's it like riding with your daughter?
I mean, it's fantastic. It's a game changer. I think, for me, what's interesting is my PMC journey has been, I think, different than Rich or Mark.
Well, share that then. Share your journey.
So I did it. I started in 1999. So this is my 8th year doing it, but I took a 20-year hiatus. So Gabby mentioned something earlier that I didn't even think about, that she never experienced me riding the PMC.
Yeah.
So I started in 99. I rode it. I was 30 years old, and I just did it as a physical challenge at the time with a friend of mine, because it was like, it would be pretty cool to ride 200 miles over 2 days and see what that's like. But we didn't have a personal connection to it at that particular time. We had no one, direct friends or families that had cancer. And what's interesting, while I was training for the ride, a good friend of mine from college was diagnosed with cancer. So it kind of changed the whole thing around right at that particular time, about 2 months before the ride, that it made it more, it had more of a personal meaning. And so I rode it, and it was an unbelievable event. I was blown away by it. And so I did it for several more years. Along the way, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and he was a cancer survivor, and you saw the direct impact, of riding with someone directly in your family, that has cancer. And it meant a lot. But life happens, and the difference when I was riding, which is really significant now, which I really get enjoyment with, is that I didn't have a group of guys like Mark and Rich and Jeff and Tony and Judd and Jim O'Leary and Buck, that they all ride together, and I didn't have that. So I weaned away from it a little bit. I did some other things, but I kept riding. And as Rich mentioned, a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Scott Hamill, who I rode with a lot for 10 plus years, a very passionate rider, great friend. I grew up with him in Marshfield. He passed away from cancer 2 years ago, and he had fought it like you read about. And so he passed away in June, and we all said we wanted to do some type of just a memorial ride for him. And I remember, Rich and Mark and Jeff and all these guys who ride the PMS, they all came. We had like maybe 40 or 50 people ride, and as I was doing the ride, it was in September. I told him, I said, I'm going to ride the PMS next year. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm like, all right, I'm definitely riding next year in honor of Scott. So my intention was just to do it one time, just to get back into it one time, ride for Scott. And then along the way, Gabby decided that she was going to volunteer. And which I thought was great. I sat here on the show last year, and I said one of the things that I was more excited about her being involved last year in the weekend, of just being involved in it, than I was of partaking, because I knew once she saw what it was like, that she would be blown away by it.
Yeah.
And she was at Mass Maritime at the end of day one, and all I thought about the ride was that I was going to see her at Mass Maritime, and it was so cool to see her at the end. And I thought that was sort of it. And then she picks me up at the ferry after we come back on Sunday, and she says basically, "Dad, I'm going to ride next year." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, I'm still in." So I'm like, "If you're riding, I'm riding." So here, so she just sort of inspired me to keep it going, and it's been a blast. And what's interesting is we got her a bike last year. We had to go to Connecticut to find it, because we had to find the right size and everything. And so I remember when we were riding initially, she was getting the hang of it, and I'm riding ahead of her, and I'm like, I'll slow down for her. I'll just let her catch up to me. Now she just like takes off on me. And she's like, it's just leaving me in the dust. So it's been a lot of fun to see her really enjoy it, and really just to see the camaraderie with these guys, who all are part of the event, and she sees really what it means to everyone. I think that's important.
Yeah, Rich?
Dr. Joe, the bike is about this big, and she cooks on it.
Yeah. So I just want to back up, Mark. There may be some listeners who don't know what PanMass is.
Sure.
So let's just review that.
So PanMass Challenge started in 1980 with a group of maybe 20 to 30 riders with the goal of eliminating cancer. They started from Sturbridge, and they rode to Provincetown, at the tip of the Cape Cod. So fast forward, through last year, they surpassed raising $1 billion with a B, $1 billion. All the donated money goes to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute for research and development, and they've done amazing things. They last year they raised $75 million over the course of a 2-day event, which is the most money raised in any single event in America. It's very well known. Most people in Massachusetts know somebody riding the PanMass Challenge. It starts Saturday morning at sunrise. We actually have opening ceremonies Friday night, and I think WBZ News will be covering that. And they do a State of the Union, if you will, of all of the new advancements that they've had over the year, which is really great. It's incredible to see what the money is able to do and to have the impact, and to know that you're a small part of that. So then Saturday morning at sunrise, we roll out of Sturbridge and we head to Mass Maritime, where we sleep very uncomfortably, but they have a nice welcome party for us, and there's all sorts of vendors and folks that are donating their time and their supplies. I think Harpoon is a big sponsor, so there's a lot of, I think Bay State physical therapy is there, and they're helping people stretch out. And then sunrise Sunday morning, we head up over the Bourne Bridge and across the Cape Cod Canal and on to Provincetown, and it's grueling. It's a grind. It's usually very, very hot. However, you can tell who you're impacting along the way, because they're out there and they're sharing their gratitude. They're sharing the signs that say, I am 14 years old because of you, and it just gives you chills. And there's a lot of wonderful sights and scenes, and there's thousands and thousands of volunteers that help make sure that we are properly fueled and rested in between. So every 25 miles or so, there's a rest area, and there's the support. It is an absolute shower of gratitude for 48 hours. It's very special, and as Paul mentioned, it's hard not to continue. It's really wonderful watching him and his daughter bond over this common goal, which is so inspiring. However, it is really difficult to get to the end and be like, I'm done, because you're not. Like, it's not over, right? There's still people that are struggling with cancer, and until they're done, we're not done.
Yeah. And there's next year. How many years for you?
This is 11.
11 years. Yeah. And Paul, you started what? You said
1999, but I took a 20-year break, so this is year 8 for me.
That's okay. And Gabby, how about you? And I'm kidding. So, yeah. Well, it is inspiring. And before we take a break, which we're going to, how do people donate?
So the easiest way is to go on pmc.org. pmc.org is the main website. And then you search your rider. So we're going to encourage people to search Gabby Reardon today.
Yay.
Gabby Reardon, because, folks,
Spell it out.
Reardon. In Marshfield. There are 3 barriers to entry with PanMass. It's the training. You have to be ready for it, for which I am not. You have to figure out the logistics. You have to figure out the logistics. Like, you got to get to Sturbridge. You got to get home from P-Town. There's that. but then you have to raise the money. They require that we each raise $6,000. And if we don't, they're going to hit your credit card. So it's really important. And we could talk about, some of the strategies of raising money. And I think that would be really an impactful conversation to have with Next Gen, with Gabby. But PMC.org, Gabby Reardon, Marshfield, hit it hard, because this is not easy for anyone. Imagine being 18 and taking on this challenge. So give it to her.
Yep. Gabby. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, folks, really, Gabby Reardon, PMC.org. Thank you very much. And it is a challenge. Amen. And what you're doing is helping so many. And we are delighted that we have those who are our champions as well to face our challenges, without whom the Dr. Joe Show would not be here. So let's hear from our challenge-facing champions and take a commercial break. We'll be right back with the Dr. Joe Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. So any thoughts? Do you listen to other podcasts? Do you see how they do the sponsors? Is there a way that they're utilizing sponsors that you enjoy or you don't enjoy? I listen to SmartList, and I really enjoy how the co-hosts share the voiceover for the product or service. It's really funny for the most part, but it's unique. It's them really endorsing. Does that work? What do you think?
And we are back with the Dr. Joe Show right here live at Broadcast House, WATD 95.9. And we are talking about the Pan Mass Challenge, and we have a new generation rider, which, Dr. Joe, we started to talk about the State of the Union that they deliver on the Friday night. Again, folks, if you're interested, it'll be on WBZ TV, where Billy Starr gets out and explains, where all the impact is. But 2 years ago, one of the driving forces of that was, hey, we got to figure out this age differential. We have a lot of aging participants, aging riders that, have been doing it for, 30, 40 years, 20 years, but we're not capturing that next generation. So it's really also super inspiring to see Gabby, leading that next generation and taking it and continuing this amazing thing.
Was there some theory about why there's this generation gap?
Yeah, they because of all of the folks that really started with it, got hooked on it, got focused and passionate, obsessed with it.
Yeah.
They didn't pass it on to the next generation.
And why do we think that is?
It's a great question, because it's their thing. It's what they do, and I don't know the answer to that.
And yet here we have an example where it's happening. So,
which is awesome.
We spoke a little bit about this before, about what you noticed, what inspired you. But was there something, Paul, that you did to try to draw your child into this, or was this just?
No. I mean, I give her a ton of credit. She sort of just, she did what I think a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have volunteered for the Pan Mass along the way, and they're like, "Man, that looks like a really cool event, and I'm going to ride next year." And that's sort of what happened with Gabby. I think she went down, she saw it, she got caught up in the energy of it. She saw how powerful it was, and she's like, "I want to participate," which is, I think, for a lot of younger generation, that happens a lot, right? They can do that, they can see it, they can take advantage of it. I think Mark's point.
Well, I'm just going to interrupt for a sec, because I want to check in with that. Is that the case, Gabby? Is the younger generation seeing this and being inspired, or is there a problem going on here?
I don't know. I think it's kind of a mix. I think the biggest thing is I feel like a lot of my generation would volunteer and do that, but I think it's more of that they don't really want to do the commitment. I think the commitment to ride, the training, having to spend all summer training, early mornings, I think that's more of where they don't choose to do the ride, because 18 years old, you might not really want to do that right now before going to college. There's other things. So I think that might be where the age gap is, and volunteering's still so impactful, but it's easier in a way. And then for me, I I set my mind on wanting to ride after I volunteered, and so I stuck through with that.
Well, Rich was saying also that you also do sports, and so tell me a bit about that, and do you think that had an influence?
I think it definitely did. I've played sports my entire life, hockey and lacrosse, and so I've always been active, and I love to compete, and I think through the sports I learned commitment, and when I was dedicated to sports all through high school, so that also played a big part in it, because I knew if I was going to ride this, I had to dedicate my time to it, and it's a big commitment. So definitely having that mindset is a big help.
But I think one of the challenges, and I agree with everything Gabby's saying, but I think there are kids that have that generation that will volunteer and they will want to partake, but I do think the biggest detriment is the financial side of it. It's a hard thing. I know for Gabby, one of the things that we talked about even early on was she was nervous about the fundraising, and the fundraising's hard. And I think when I started, I did 1999. I think obviously it was a long time ago, but it was like $1,900. To put $6,000 on someone in their 20s when all their friends and their circle of influence is all trying to save money, it's hard.
That's a very good point. I wonder whether the folks who are organizing this need to hear that message. Maybe that's part of it. Rich,
I agree. There should be a blended rate, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But the fundraising is absolutely something that hangs over your head, and it's very difficult to deal with. I'll never forget the first year we did the PMC. Mark, myself, Dana Jr., and Tony. Did we do a video? We did a video, and then after we had what Last was that? Mike Last was doing a video, and then after he invited us back, and we did one-on-ones, and the last question was, what are you worried about?
Was that because it was Mike Last?
Maybe.
Sorry.
But the last question that we didn't know the answer until we saw the final video. And the last question is, what are you worried about? All of us said fundraising. Because it is that, isn't it? It's that difficult.
Yeah.
And this is supremely impressive, watching an 18-year-old woman go out there and not only give her time, but have that, and I say it, the word burden might not be the right word, but that's a huge thing hanging over your head.
It's the challenge.
It is.
The real challenge, because that's really the most important part of the whole thing, is to be able to raise that money for cancer research, because that's why we're doing it. It definitely gets easier as the years go on. There's a compounding effect that happens because people start to, it becomes a tithing. It's like, they start to reach out. Hey, are you riding this year? I haven't seen your email yet. I have to donate to your ride. I have to donate to your ride, right? So the compounding effect does start to happen where, year over year, it definitely gets easier. There's a reframe that I like to bring to the folks that are really struggling with I don't like to ask for money. That's what hangs over them, is I don't like to ask for money. And
let me say, is that an issue for you, Gabby?
Not necessarily. It's just more finding the people to donate, because it's just harder being younger when all my friends are the same age and they don't have that much money of their own.
Yeah,
I love the butterfly effect of what she's doing, though.
I love to hear that response because I don't know about your kids, my kids don't have a problem asking me for money. So go on. So
interesting, but what she's doing right at 18, and she's reaching out to her friends, and they're not hitting her with $250 donations. They're hitting her with $10, $25. But that is the growth. That's the part that I find most inspiring of what she's doing, because that butterfly effect, that ripple effect, where she's having that impact on all these other people that are like, wow, I have to donate because she's doing this, and now what can I do? What can I do differently? But
I want to donate, not just have to, but I want to. And this is the inspiration to, you show somebody that you are, what we were talking about, charity and sacrifice. You show someone you're doing that, many people say, well, wow, I want to do that too.
I want to do it too. Exactly right. So the reframe for the folks that are, riding with us that struggle with it, it's like, I just hate asking for money. I ask them to reframe it and say, don't ask them for money. Invite them on the journey. Invite them to come along with us. They don't have to ride. They don't have to volunteer, but come along with us. And this is how you can join us in curing cancer. And the reframe, that simple reframe of, please give me money. I need it. I have to. I can't. I'm gonna.
Right.
I have this minimum. Versus, hey, come with us. This is really impactful. This is really amazing. Join us, and we want to invite you to join us to come along. And it helps. It definitely helps because people want to be part of something too.
And this is the same thing with the I am. That is reminding someone of their value by making that contribution to that rider, saying, I value what you're doing for others, and then you feel good. Mark, you've been telling me about this for
and it's fun to read the notes, right? Because when someone donates, they have the opportunity to read write a little note, and sometimes it's in memory of my mom or this and that, or sometimes it's just like, you're inspiring, ride like the wind, things like that. And it's that value give, right? So it's that abundance of value, and everybody feels better, and you start to think, wow, this world could be an amazing place if we all simply valued one another, right, Dr. Joe?
Yes, and it is an amazing place. So what's this feel like for you, Gabby, to be recognized by other people for what you're doing?
I mean, it feels very good, but at the same time, it's like, I'm only doing a little bit compared to all the other people who are fighting cancer, so they're the ones who really deserve the recognition, and I'm just doing a small part to help.
Mm-hmm. It's humble, and yet, Rich, you want to chime in? Being one of those people
everything that you said, I'm like, this is a rock star. This one, she is inspiring. I was whispering to Gabby, in between the break, about my daughter who is older than Gabby, and she's been watching her journey. And my daughter says, she kicks ass all the time. I can say that, right? I don't know. Oh, you can't? Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Oh, my God, they're taking Dr. Joe out of here.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, it wasn't me. But go on.
No, and just, just watching my daughter, watch Gabby from afar. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I know something good is going to come of that, and she's going to be a better person because watching this journey of hers.
Yeah. Love it. Well, it's wonderful to watch those who are inspiring and to become better people, and that's part of why we are inspired to become better people by our sponsors. So let's hear from them, and we will be right back with the Dr. Joe Show.
Hey, welcome back. And again, we're super grateful for you listening to the Dr. Joe Show. If you have anyone that you think might be a good sponsor, shoot us an email at drjoepodcast@gmail.com. DRJOE podcast@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts about the show, too. We're wondering, are we talking to the trees, or are people really gaining value in this? Please let us know. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we're back with the Dr. Joe Show right here, live in studio with some amazing human beings.
Yes.
Talking about the Pan Mass Challenge.
Pan Mass Challenge and the charity, the giving, the recognition of how many people you are helping. And, we talk about, Mark has sometimes spoken about the guilt he feels because he's being, praised for doing these things. And I've been thinking about how we use this word sacrifice as if somehow, it's a good thing, and it is, but I don't see what you guys doing as sacrificing. I see what you guys doing as contributing. And there's a difference in that, right? Sacrifice makes it feel like I'm going to lose something of myself. But a contribution is adding to the community, and that's what you're doing. Does it feel like a sacrifice or a contribution, Paul?
No, I'd say, I mean, it's a good question. I definitely think it feels like you're contributing to something within a big community, if you will, because you think about the PAMAS, and I mean the biggest component of the PAMAS weekend isn't the riders, it's the volunteers, 100%. And when I did it back in 1999, that was the first thing that I told people when I left. I said, I can't believe how well the volunteers treat all the riders and how many volunteers there are. And so you think about just what they're putting in for a weekend. It's everyone's part of it. It's all one cog. It's all working together. And so the riders do the job of riding, but the event is nothing without all the volunteers, without a doubt.
Yeah. This is an I am, right? So remember, the I am approach is saying that we're always doing the best we can. We don't have to like it, don't have to condone it, not a free ride, no pun intended. But instead of judging it, let's look again at why we do what we do. Let's look again, reverse those words. Again, look. Again, to repeat something, look like a spectator. Let's respect why people do what they do without judging them. And no one is going to be judging you for what you're doing, right, other than praising you and thanking you. But the I am, because there are these 4 domains, the home domain, the social domain, biological, and the I see, how I see myself, how I think others see me. Because the domains interact, a small change can have a big effect in any of the domains. You don't need to change everything. Small changes can have big effects. First truth of the I am. So, Paul, I'm going to start with you, then go to you, Rich, and then can end with you, Gabby. What small change can you recommend to our listeners based on what we're talking about tonight?
I would say something that sounds pretty simple, but actually isn't easy to do. I think, especially nowadays. I think we all just need to do a better job of looking at things. The phrase "glass half empty, glass half full," and a lot of us look at glass half empty. Like you hear something, you react to something maybe in the way that if you took a pause, you were a little patient, you might react differently. And I'm guilty of it. A lot of people are guilty of it, and I think we just all need to do a better job of thinking positive about a situation before you start to look at the negative of it.
Yeah. So glass half full. Yeah, I'm there. Good small change. Rich?
Oh, I don't know if it's a small change, but I think it's on the same avenue of what Paul is saying. To me, I'm generally happy. Even if I'm miserable, I'm generally happy. And so, I always just use a smile. I try and use a smile all day long to, one, affect myself first, and then two, hopefully somebody across from me, sees me smile, and they might be feeling something, not great about themselves, but we're all in this together, and that smile is like, hey, I'm not fighting you, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of my day and of my life. And look, I've been through some, not so great things, but I get to be here. I don't know how many times I've been here the night before we rode, mm-hmm. and I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I wish I didn't have cancer. I wish I didn't get cancer, but I did get cancer, and you got to deal with it. And I get calls still to this day from people calling me up, finding me on the internet and reading my story. And I tell them the same thing. I said, a huge part of this is what's happening above your shoulders. Mm-hmm. And you have to be positive, and you have to be grateful, and you have to be happy with what you have, whatever your situation is at that moment.
Mm.
Can I just say something?
Please.
So what Rich said, I think, is really impactful, because we all know Rich for a long time. We've seen what he's gone through. And, I mean, I've never met anyone who's gone through what he's gone through and has had such a positive outlook. You would never, when you would talk to him, he was always on the happier side. He was always looking at things on the bright side. It was inspirational, to be honest with you. And I give you a ton of credit for that, Rich. It was empowering, to be honest with you.
Thank you, Paul. Well, Paul trained for another one of Paul's endeavors to raise money. Once again, this gentleman over there to my left has done more for this community and is always outreaching. So long and short is, it was the hottest marathon in history, and Paul, was that for Dana-Farber as well? Yes.
Yep.
So Paul ran that marathon. He trained with my wife. I got to see Paul every Sunday morning with 7, 8 women, Paul. and Paul.
Gabby's still here.
And it's so funny because it was one of those winters where I remember I've got these pictures of Paul on my front porch with snow all over him. And then the poor guy ended up running the hottest marathon ever. And as you can see from Paul's complexion, Paul is not built for sunny days.
Or running.
Yeah. Gabby, what about you? What small change can you recommend to our listeners based on what we're talking about tonight?
A small change I would recommend, I don't know if it's that small, but I would say to not back down from things, especially something that you set your mind on or a goal when it gets challenging or there's many obstacles in the way. And there's a Peloton instructor, Kendall Toole, who always says at the end of her rides, they can knock you down, but they will never knock you out. And that's kind of always stuck with me. And she would say that after every one of her rides. So I feel like that will go a long way if you just know that after every challenge, you just get back up and you'll be stronger. So I just kind of carry that with me.
Got a lot of nodding, smiling, appreciative people here. Once again, great advice. Have you been able to do that? Has there been a challenge ever for you with that?
I mean, there's been many life challenges, but I think anything like pertaining to like sports, I could say, injuries, just not getting discouraged and just working to get better each time.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be training for the bike on a bad day, going up a rough hill that I don't want to go up, and just choosing not to quit.
Yep. In psychiatry, we call that resilience. People have been faced with remarkable hardships, and they keep getting up. And it's powerful and inspirational and part of each one of us, especially the folks that you're riding for. I mean, think about that resilience that they have getting up every day, facing that challenge, Rich. I know I'm speaking to someone who's lived it, right? So small changes have big effects. Second truth of the I am. Everyone's got one. Everyone is interested through their I see domain the way you see them, which has an effect on their biological domain, because you know it feels different when you feel respected or disrespected. And because you are part of someone's home and social domain, the second truth of the I am, you control no one, but you influence everyone. You get to choose the kind of influence you want to be. I'm going to go a slightly different order. I'm going to go Rich, Paul, but I'm still going to end with you, Gabby. Rich, what kind of influence do you want to be?
Oh, God, why'd you ask me first? I'd rather hear from Gabby first.
That's why I asked you.
What kind of influence do I want to be? I will go back to being positive. I think waking up every day, getting out, and, once again, I try and be positive every day. I try and smile as much as I can. I try and be as happy as I can. And look, not every day is great. Not every day, but every day doesn't have to be great. Mm-hmm. But I'm surrounded by a great family. I've got a huge support of friends, and we live in a beautiful area. So I don't know. I'm kind of skirting it. I know I'm skirting it.
No, it's great. That's an influence to be positive. Absolutely, Paul.
I'd just say don't be afraid to give back, and not give back financially, but give back your time, because people really value that. And and Rich and Mark, they alluded to that I've given my time. Yes, I have done that, but the reason why I've given my time is because when I initially volunteered to do something, I was influenced by the people that were already doing it ahead of me, and I could see how vested they were into it, and it made me become vested into it. And that's how I hope to influence other people along that lines, and hopefully I've done that with Gabby and other people as well.
Sounds like it. Gabby, what kind of influence do you want to be?
I want my influence to show people that whatever they set their mind to, they can accomplish in some way, even if it's not fully. And I try to do that already. through things I do. So I just want to set that example for people and know that they can do anything that they set their mind to.
Yeah. Yes. Mark, did you want to add?
PMC.org.
Yep.
Gabby Reardon.
Yes.
I'm writing
Search
too, Mark,
for
just so you know.
Gabby. I know you are, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. No, but folks, really, this is such an important influence you can all be on strangers. This small change can have a big effect. Donate. And donate yet again, because it's not going away. And we have folks here who really, really could use your contribution. So, PMC.org, Gabby Reardon.
Yes.
There are other writers, but start with that one.
We're going to focus on Gabby tonight.
Folks, I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
Have a great ride.
Thank you.
Thank you again for all you do.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you next week.
Stretch the kindness, brush with madness. Is it sadness or just a show? Then go, 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 go.